Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Let's Get Loud podcast with Jay and A. And we have a special guest today. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you will see the beautiful Melissa LeBlanc, who is joining us, who is a member of Team. So if you guys don't know, but access to a part of your Way Weight Loss membership, you get access to Team, which is for beautiful human beings who have walked the walk, talked the talk, been through the ups and downs of what a weight loss journey looks like. And they are available to answer your emails at all times, which is amazing. So Melissa's one of those people. She also does translation. She does so much for us. I'm like, hello, Melissa, this is really late last minute, but can you please do this? And she's always says yes.
Yes, and I get to drink the rest of my coffee before I leave for my real job. So
Ah,
you get
so
the colder part though, the colder version.
you need a milk frother. Do you have a milk frother? Don't
No,
make
I
that
feel like
face.
I'm really I sorry. I feel like I'm really happy with my old school coffee pot.
Yeah, you don't need a different coffee pot. You just need a milk foamer. It's extra on the side.
Okay.
Mm.
You can make me one the next time I visit you.
Yeah, I will
And
make you
then I
one in your
can I
life.
can make my perception. See, I don't because I have lack of knowledge about frothers. I have a perception that I don't need extras in my life.
I mean, you can also have that. It is definitely an extra. What kind of cream do you have in your coffee? This is important. We are going to get to some good stuff, guys, but this is important.
Oh, it's actually cow's milk 2% Northumberland. If
Yeah.
you really want to know, yeah, I've always just put. I mean, clearly at first I was having triples at Tim Hortons, and my journey with coffee was basically I slowly ended up to just one milk.
Were you really drinking triples?
I was devoted to being a coffee drinker, which I hated. I kind of had the same journey with wine. um, but yeah, I just put like a dab of milk. I wish I
Wow.
would want to like take a latte. It's not this. It's not that for me. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have some kind of lactose issue, but that can be for another thing. But I do like my little drop of 2% milk is working for me at the moment. I don't
Okay.
have any goals. I don't have any goals. I did and I know this is not about coffee, but coffee is so important. I need to hold my pencil also, like this French, français enseignant. I used to drink massive amounts of coffee. Like it was almost like I was ashamed
Yeah,
because
I
it was,
remember. I
yes,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the transition was hard as in like hard. But I really did. Like I started at the 10, like, like the big pot, got to 10, drank all of that. And then I slowly went to 8. And it's not like 8 real cups of coffee, but now I'm down to 4. And sometimes I don't finish it. Proud of myself for that. Also because of sleep issues, right? Everything is related. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Thank you
That's
for
what I
your
had to say.
full journey on coffee. So let's switch our focus to your weight loss journey a little bit more. It's been a long one, and there's been so much to share. And first of all, thank you for agreeing to share and always be so vulnerable with us. But if people that are listening, what I would love for you, there's going to be so many takeaways, but one takeaway I would love while you're listening to Melissa is realizing that a weight loss journey is literally just a journey and it never ends. Like there's highs and there's lows, and every single person I've seen lose their weight, there's a gain back, there's a lose, there's a gain, there's a maintain, there's a find where you can live your life. And it's like there's seasons in your life that the main priority just isn't weight loss. Like it's just don't give up, you guys.
Absolutely. And so if I like go back a couple of years, I'm like the typical human that was chasing secrets, was chasing the latest fad, and I like feel like I've tried it all. Everything worked short term. It was always I was always focused on the physical. So the scale number, the scale going down and wanting to be thinner. And it was almost like I didn't even realize there was an actual mindset or reflection or thing that had to happen in my brain. It was almost like I will pause my life for a moment. I will get on this lane, which is weight loss. And once again, I don't want to be in the slow lane. I don't want to take the back roads. I want the fastest lane, like the second lane where we're passing cars. So I wanted that lane. But also I was also pausing my life as I was in that lane. So I think that is the most traumatic part, or the part that like leaves trace, where you don't even know how to get weight loss if you're not in the passing lane. So I was at the point where, okay, one, accept yourself for who you are, just let's go for it. Or don't quit this time. Stop quitting after 6 months. So that's kind of what I did. I stepped foot in Jose's Shediac location, and I never really looked back, and I just wanted better. But when I said that, or when I was thinking that at that time, I was still an adult in my 30s, but I thought better meant skinnier. But it turns out it's more complex than just changing a physical person, right?
Absolutely. And do you think that when you first started your weight loss, I mean, I feel like I know the answer to this, but do you feel like there was still a lot of diet noise? Like, you know, because I see it so much. I see people coming in, really, they're still just trying to diet, but
100%, yeah.
gradually they start to have those like mindset shifts. So did you feel like you were still kind of dieting at the beginning?
100% yes. Also, I do have to say though that my beginning also included no online course, no Facebook group, no. It was pretty much you go there, you spend 30 minutes being inspired as F, and then you're released in the wild.
Yeah.
And fend for yourself. We're in the Hunger Games, people. Legit Hunger Games. So I don't think I'm the best, and I'm not saying that in any kind of shaming way, but I don't think I am the best to explain the amazing program we have in my beginning. Like my first couple of years were about getting weight on Saturday, and I did not want to get weight on Thursday if I wasn't around on Saturday. So 100% yes, there is and was. Now, has that is there an evolution with time? Absolutely.
Yeah. If
But
we were
do I still
still,
have diet thoughts, or do I still have some noise at time? The answer is yes. I would be lying if I would say no, I'm cured. There's no cure, people. This is a practice.
that's the thing people ask me all the time, like, well, how long did that take? And how long before you didn't think that? I'm like, there's still those thoughts. Like, you're never fully cured. Like, you have to stay present and purposeful and intentional with working towards and working on this part of your life.
Absolutely. And that's like for any kind of part of our lives, right? And
Okay. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Keep going.
all good. No, I was just saying, like, it doesn't matter like what you're working on. It could be your journey of weight loss. It can be like your confidence. It can be your happiness, your self acceptance, your reflection. All of those things are not like things. I believe they're practices. Therefore, if something is a practice like our journey, it means that it doesn't really end.
I totally agree.
Mic
And
drop.
for some people, they think like they're like, that's devastating. because they think of a weight loss journey like a diet. And so they think about, oh my gosh, a never ending diet, that's terrible. But we need to remind you guys that a diet and a weight loss journey are actually two completely separate things. And it's really working on yourself.
Absolutely. And yes, we could see that as a maybe victim mentality where we're like, crap, like I just want to do the check mark and move on. Um, but I think if we look at it with like a different lens, then this gives us all the power. We have all the power, and there's positive in that, because then we get to change and adapt as time goes, because our lives do change. Like if I
That's
look at my life in the last 5 years, like, oh my gosh, like uh, who who am I? Like it everything has changed so much with so we can start with I did separate from the dad of my kids 4 years ago. And so that for sure is traumatic. It does not matter how we like, there's no level of trauma where like someone had more than trauma is trauma. So it is definitely hard. It does not matter how it happened, what happened. You really have to go through the storm and adapt. And so, yes, did my life change? Absolutely. So, but then from there, there's clearly like just learning to be again. So, what does that look like as a mom, as Melissa, that now doesn't always isn't always on as a mom, because we know how it is. But then when the kids are not there, like what happens, like, so that was like such a shift in learning what my life looks like again, right?
Yeah,
um
you had a few, like the last couple years have been difficult. There's been a lot of challenges, and you have done an amazing job of just not doing the victim mentality, accepting what you need to accept, working on what you can work on, and all the while still staying connected to that person that you want to be.
Absolutely. And I do feel like sometimes the storm is like you feel like it's never going to end, like the
Mhm.
dark space. And I think when the pandemic hit, see, this is the thing. So sometimes we think we're like working on ourselves and we're healing, and then a pandemic starts and we are stuck in our houses and within ourselves, our thoughts. And it's only when that happened that I realized, like, oh, Melissa, you have been just on autopilot for so many years. And I think this may have started like when I became a mom, where we have to be so present. Therefore, I didn't realize that I was just escaping my brain. I you know how when bad things happen or challenges happen, we all say, give it time. Time heals all wounds. Guess what? I think that is BS. Time will not heal the wounds unless you put in the effort to heal the wounds. So I guess when the pandemic hit, I was stuck in my thoughts, and I didn't realize that I was numbing. I was numbing with, and it could be as basic as over exercising, or even listening to the loudest music as I could while I was driving to work, just to not hear. I didn't want to hear what was going on. I didn't want to feel lonely. I did not want to feel any of those, I guess, uncomfortable feelings. So it took me so many years to figure out, okay, Melissa, you're not even healing. You are just trying to distract. You are distracting your thoughts, you're distracting your feelings. And therefore, you are still at the same place you were 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So, oof, this was a deep moment, huh?
I mean, it's really good. And, you know, I don't think I didn't struggle with that in the same level that you did, but you know what I can really connect to was before I started my weight loss journey, I would do the same thing. I would fill every space in my brain because I knew my brain was telling me you're not comfortable, you're not fulfilled, you're not living a full life. And I just wanted to push it away because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to
Yeah.
act on it. So I kept pushing, pushing, pushing. So always listening to a podcast, always with friends, always doing something. So there was no time
Yes.
to just be.
Yes. And and we don't even realize it until we actually like heal or grow and understand it. So for sure. And maybe numbing could be like maybe it's not the correct word because people could say like yes. However, I was seeking comfort in outside things to not feel it inside. So I think that that means numbing. I'm pretty sure if my mom listens to this, she's gonna call me tonight because she's gonna be worried. But all good. I think it's important to talk about that.
Okay,
So
tell us how you got to a point. So like it's the pandemic, you realize you're like, okay, like, you know, there's realizations that there's work to do. What's next?
that's a good question. I think I really needed to. I think I kept on saying to myself like, you're gonna grow out of it, or you're gonna like, you're gonna be able to change your thoughts or change. However, like a thought, like an emotion is an emotion. Why am I always shaming myself into the way I feel? Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talk. Like, there's lots of happening up there. So I did decide to consult. I decided to um, see a therapist, and I think sometimes we don't want to say that we're doing that, but this just like going to the doctor. I'm like, you are the doctor of my brain. So I did find, and I've been around the block when I say that. I have tried a few different ones that I perhaps didn't connect with as much as like in a deeper level for the like the mentor or mentee relation, whatever that means, right? There's a word for that. Um, and finally, I found someone that I really connected with, and her therapy is really like reflection based, as in that's what I needed. So I committed to 1 hour a month. Now, honestly, I kind of wanted her to move in with me because I felt like that was the answer. Clearly, that couldn't happen because I couldn't afford her. Also, I need to also be an adult on my own, right? So I did that once a month, and even though when I didn't want to go, because when you go into therapy, you're kind of tired after. It's
Yeah.
exhausting because you're sometimes opening like wounds or things, but it is needed in order to heal. So I do the rest of the time, so the 1 hour that I'm with her, which is what, like 0.1% of my month, the rest of the time I appreciate the your weight loss content, because as much as it's called your way weight loss, it is all about awareness and learning to get to know yourself at a deeper level and understanding your behaviors, your thoughts, because that's the only way that's the only way towards change, is really understanding. So that's the part that I really love about our program, because it is not about physical things. And I do agree that we don't want to be limited in our bodies. Like, I agree. So I am dealing with regain, and there are things that I'm like, Melissa. However, in I would say that maybe since September, I've been like on a slow deaf journey. That's what I call slow deaf, as in slow deficit. Because I'm like, you are 41. You are not, we're done dieting. So that is why I refuse to take that lane, the passing lane on the highway
Yeah.
that gives us short term, quick. I'm over that, and that's not me settling. Absolutely not. That is me choosing the right way for me, and I think we have to go through a bunch of different experiences in order to maybe figure that part out, right? Whew. Okay.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, how long has this been? This is fantastic. We can keep on going. Can we talk for the rest of the day? And you know what? I also wrote the word paralyzed by problems. I think that sometimes we don't even realize when we are going through a storm, and could be something's going on with your kid, it could be like anything. We just become this person who's just like almost paralyzed with what's happening around us, and we can't even like I guess focus on the small things we can do for ourselves in order to just be better, or just to self-care, right? um and I think that sometimes, and it was just like that word, and I could just like give like a plain example. When I came back from my trip to Mexico, that I went to Mexico, the next day was like I was at work, the kids were back, so it was just like from 0 to 120 like in 2 seconds. And that evening I did have like tons of things to do, and I realized, I'm like, you're not even doing anything because you are paralyzed in this moment.
yeah. I get like that too. It's like when there's so many things on your list and then you just do
Yes,
nothing.
yes. So clearly I had to recognize that in order to be like, okay, Melissa, you can do one thing right now. What is that one thing? So I just did that one thing. And then, so there's there's a lot to adulthood. It's not like a simple, it's not as simple as we expected it was going to be when we were kids, right? We just wanted to
No,
be adults,
we
to
thought it was
not
going to
have
be
rules.
just so rosy. You can do whatever I want. I mean, I just
Unicorn and
love that
rainbows.
you're sharing all of this with us. And I think it's just what I love so much about what you've been through. And there's been other things that you've been through over the last couple of years. You know, it wasn't just the separation. There was other stuff that went through, and you were never the victim. You chose the path of gaining knowledge and control over what you could control.
Absolutely. And oh, I agree. Yes. And I can share like the latest, my latest maybe knowledge piece about Melissa, the
Okay,
real
this is
Melissa.
important. Okay, we have 8 minutes. You got this.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the ongoing work in my brain was fantastic. And I did choose to use the recommendations of my therapist, and I decided to get tested for all the things, because I did feel like there's something happening in my brain, which was, like always on overdrive. And I know that in society we have normalized being very busy at the, however, I felt like there was something. But I thought, okay, so I at the end of last summer I got diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and I was perhaps almost like, what? There's no way. I'm not climbing walls. I'm like super organized. However, this is also me with my lack of knowledge about this particular, I guess, I don't know. I don't even know how to call it, deficiency, or I don't even know which word. Anyway, um, and I really am so liberated, I feel, because even though I maybe have this, first of all, now maybe you guys know, but like there's rarely any people that really would know about this, that I have ADHD, because one, I've lived my life for 41 years and I had coping mechanisms,
Yeah,
and those allowed me to get where I am today. So
exactly.
therefore, there's something I'm doing right,
Yeah.
right? However, like the knowledge journey that I'm on right now is to not like say like, oh, well, it's because of this. That does not give me anything. I still need to be an adult. I still need to organize my kids. I still need to have a high functioning job where I need to be on the ball, right? So I think that this has allowed me to, okay, so maybe I'm like at a grade one knowledge, because clearly like there's so many things that I get to learn about myself in order to, I guess, better my life. Because isn't that the goal here? The goal is just finding strategies to live a better life. And will that change over time? Absolutely.
Yeah, and
So
you
yeah,
get that, you get a diagnosis like that, and you really have a choice. It's like, okay, I can just be like, well, I'm this way because of blank. Or
yeah,
if that particular behavior is not something that you want to be a part of who you are, then you still need to work to find strategies to overcome it.
absolutely. And once again, this is going to be a practice, like the self-acceptance. And I think that knowing this about myself maybe allows me to work on this self-acceptance journey, because for the longest time I kind of wanted to change the fact that when I'm nervous I tend to over talk, and then I'm like, did you not? And sometimes I also will explain, like you know that about me, like I will explain too much as to why my house isn't clean, or just, but maybe I do not necessarily need to change that because it's kind of part of who I am, but just being aware of it, that's all that's enough. And I think maybe this isn't necessarily related to weight loss, but everything I said can be totally related to weight loss.
Oh my gosh. Create awareness is like step one, awareness. Then just not shifting to the victim mentality and saying, okay, guys, we all arrive to life with different shit in our book bag, trauma, this, that, your childhood, your experience, your environment, your job, your resources. We all arrive with a different stuff in our book bag. And then it's for us to decide, I'm going to make the most of what's in my book bag.
Yes, and at the moment, and I'm going to try to not be paralyzed by my past. But when I look back, I'm looking back with like the lens of learning. And we're going to try to maybe not practice the future too much, because we don't know what that is. So therefore, what can I practice? I can practice being present in the moment, right?
Okay.
There's
Tell
so
us,
many
is
other
there
things.
any, thank you. That was amazing. And, we got a little touch into Melissa's brain and Melissa's life and Melissa's journey. Is there anything you're like working on right now? Like we were down to 4 cups of coffee. So like what else? Did you set a New Year's resolution? Like tell us what you're working on
Uh,
right
I'm not like using those words because I feel like they have not brought me any crazy success. So I prefer, everything I say is not even like goals, it's more like actions. There are a few things for sure. My word of the year, which mushy, but it's self acceptance, and it's all related to self love, self appreciation, self confidence, happiness. So that for sure, yes, the bigger part. Um, I want to strive for a better balance in my life. So I have been really good at scheduling work so that I get stuff done, because that, like the performance or getting things done, like really lights me up. However, I need to figure out other ways to feel light up. Like I need to redefine being productive, because right now being productive would be me allowing myself time to read in my book and
now?
not feel like, oh, you're not being productive right now. No, my brain deserves that as well. So working hard on redefining productivity,
I like that.
Um,
I could use that.
we could all, I guess. Yes. But yes, a mental well-being. So just keep on being present within myself, in my brain. No escapism. No, don't try to push everything away. Don't conceal, don't feel. I don't want to, I've done that before. I'm done doing that. So that, I guess my biggest diet mentality unlearn moment for this year is stop judging days. I'm still like acting differently on the weekends, and I do know that this is a journey, and I know that we've all like, and it's not the word struggled. I think we've been judging weekends and judging our work weekday and trying to chase what I've done on the weekend. I just don't want that life anymore.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I said, do not, I am not, I am the person that does not judge days. And this one here that I need to heal slash prioritize my relationship with sleep. Sleep and I have not been on the same page, and there's work to be done.
That's a big one. That's why
Ooh.
that's a big one. And that's why it's like, oh, because when you undertake that, it's a big one.
Yeah, it is definitely a big one.
But you need
But
to sleep.
yeah, and I love I want to say like our members that reach out and share their vulnerabilities, and I enjoy that so much because there's always something I learn. Like I am learning, and they promote my own self-reflection. So guys, love
All right.
it.
So keep
All
those
the
emails
feels.
coming to Melissa, guys. That's what she's saying. Keep them coming. Okay. Thank you so much. I feel like we're going to need to have you back. There's going to be questions.
100%. I'm here
Okay.
for it, guys.
Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Bye.